Hello Exiles, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming and welcome to my Day 1 and 2 Molten Strike Slayer update. I am currently just beat my first T16, got my Screaming invitation, so I'm going to start with that. Not sure how it's going to go, I haven't done this fight in a very long time. But I suppose we will see together. It's very distinctly possible I will die here, so let's find out. Okay, already getting a bit of a lag, but that's okay. Alright. Oop, right. You shouldn't stand in the ball. I got slowed and thing. But the nice thing is you can kind of just get back into it. Oh, yep. I gotta remember all of his voice lines. Hunger means he's gonna explode. Yeah, I barely played the last few leagues, so I don't really remember most stuff, honestly. Oh yeah, I can... So now I have to go into the, these things. Alright, I'm missing one. There it is. Alright, I need to make sure I'm staying on the other side of him. And when he writhing masses, get out of the way of that. Try to get out of the way of the tentacles. My timing is okay. I steel skinned. Okay. So I can tank that if I steel skin. There you go. Okay. Well, it was a little bit of a rough start, but it worked out okay. Okay, yeah, that felt awkward, but got it done. You know, not deathless. Current deaths are quite a lot, I think. 31 deaths. Not great. Obviously, I have 3.1k life. I'm not on crit yet, so I'm currently doing a non-crit build, which means I have precise technique, which means I've been... well, up until recently, struggling to keep my life lower than my accuracy. I get a bunch of accuracy by switching to Beltimber blades. But yeah, I'll just go over the build. All of my gear is completely self-found or self-crafted, except for one of the Beltimber blades, this 27% one, which I bought for 5 chaos. 5 chaos is all I've spent. I haven't even interacted with the currency auction house yet, which I'd like to get around to, but the other league mechanics I've done quite a lot. I don't have a lot of currency to write home about. You know, I've been spending my chaos on like crafts and whatnot, and as far as the divine is just, I found it. The exalt is just what I found. So nothing too great there. My link setup is currently Molten Strike, slower projectiles, fire penetration, multi-strike, returning projectiles, which I completely forgot was a thing. I also forgot Beltimber Blade was a thing until I dropped one. Then I'm like, oh, I should be doing that because I'm scaling the projectiles. And then Immolate. Immolate's just a huge amount of damage, and with the very large amount of damage effectiveness Molten Strike now has, and the ability to constantly proc ignites because we're hitting anything we're hitting like, you know, 100 times per second or more very easily. So yeah, given all the balls and everything, they all have separate proc chances, by the way. So if you, even if you have like a very small chance of doing something on hit with Molten Strike, you'll get it done. Like if you have 10% chance to blind, they're instantly going to be blind. You know, I was running Trinity where I only had like 1,000 more max damage on my lightning than my fire on one of my hands, and the other one wasn't even close. So in theory, if I was running any other attack, I'd basically never have Trinity uptime, had it 100% uptime when I was running my previous weapons. Other things I'm running, Leap Slam, Momentum, faster attacks, Frost Blink, life tap, sniper's mark, and mark on hit. I don't currently have a yoke, so I don't have an enemies take increased damage source, which would normally be from shock. And because I'm doing a lot of small hits, I'm not sure that my shocks would be that useful anyway. And I'm also not crit, so I'm currently doing Sniper's Mark. The only other source of enemies take increased damage I have is Mark the Prey, which I have for partially having that extra more multiplier, and also to have the Mark Mastery to generate frenzy charges. My other links are I just have a Herald of Ash I'm not using. I just have Steel Skin, which I like to use manually, as you saw. Once I get good at fights again, using it manually will be even more effective. You did see that I tanked a hit that I knew otherwise would kill me because I had Steel Skin up, so getting used to that is good. Anger, obviously, very important. Surprisingly, even with the aura effect, I'm pretty sure Immolate actually adds a lot more damage than Anger, but Anger is still a substantial amount of damage. Got Precision, of course, need that. I'm just leveling in elemental damage with attacks. I should be leveling other gems, but I just switched to these boots. I was running Wanderlust until level 87 or 88. So I just switched off Wanderlust because I was able to get my Jade Flask to have used when become frozen, which has immunity to freeze and chill. So I finally switched off Wanderlust, having an ability to get rid of freeze and chill. I have Blood Rage, which helps me generate frenzy charges outside of hitting a marked enemy, so when I'm not hitting rares and uniques, still get frenzy charges. And of course Grace. When I'm standing still, I have 8,000 evasion, a little over 1k armor, 10% phys damage taken as fire, and my block chance is, where is it? I've got it here somewhere. Chance 64%. My spell suppress is only 72, but it is lucky, so it's more like 93%, I think, is the way the math works. So, and when I'm moving, my evasion goes up to over 14k, and then when I'm standing still with my Jade Flask on, it's a bit over 12k, and it was over 22k with Jade Flask plus moving. So, still want to get more evasion. I had to have a huge downgrade in terms of what I was using for my body armor. In terms of the armor and evasion, I was using this one, which has over 1200 of each. Going down to not even 500 evasion and barely over 300 armor, but it was 6-linked, so yeah, I'm using it for now. I also just happened to get really good Eldritch enchants on it. I'm currently entirely out, but I think I'm okay just because I got stuff that works. Like I got attack speed and accuracy on the gloves. Those are things I want. Chance to avoid poison, that's fine on boots. And I'll get more. I'll farm some more pretty soon here. But ideally, I get a 6-link that's on a much better base than a Soldier's Brigandine. I could try to 6-link this eye level 84 Conquest Laminar because its base armor and evasion is 831. So once I, quality that up and roll and craft on it, I could get 2,000 to 3,000 armor and evasion on it, which would be very nice, as well as life. I have 146 on it currently. It's weird that 159 is the top roll for tier 3. I haven't even seen what it can get up to in tier 1 yet, but I'm assuming it's pretty close to 200 or perhaps even over. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, that's the gem setup. The gear is I'm running an Elevore. Elevore gives me spell suppress chance as well as life recovery when you suppress spell damage and some chance to avoid elemental ailments, which I want to build into later. I just found this while leveling and I liked it. I thought it was good, especially with the lucky spell suppress, so I kind of just stuck with it. The gloves are item level 49. I've had these for, a long time. Probably what that would be like Act 6 or so. A lot of my gear is kind of like that. Item level 61. Obviously not this one or this one. But some of this stuff I've had for a decent amount of time. Especially the stuff that I was using. So these are the weapons I was using before I realized Beltimber blade existed. I was running one sword and one axe. The reason for that is I was running the 60% increased damage while wielding two different weapon types. This is a lot of damage when you get it early on. So as planned, I got Gladiator's Perseverance for the additional strike early on. And then I got Burning Brutality for the critical, the 100% damage against ignited enemies. Which I'm able to very easily proc because you get Ignite chance there. You also get some Ignite chance here. I don't think it's necessary at all. I don't think the effect of non-damaging elements makes a difference either, as I currently am, so it doesn't matter which way I path. Ideally, this way is going to be way more damage, but it is one more point than this, and right now I'm pretty point starved. And I need to figure out how to transition into crit as it is. So yeah, this is, but after that I got Precise Technique and Point Blank for two more multipliers. So I had a huge damage increase there. Then I got some life. The life mastery is very important early on. Two of the problems that I did not foresee, well, one of them I did foresee, but I figured it wouldn't be an issue. It ended up being a little bit more of an issue than I thought, is attribute requirement. Needed a lot more strength and than I thought I would. Ended up taking Beef, Wisdom of the Glade, Mana Flows, and Master of the Arena pretty early. And yeah, I had to always run kind of suboptimal gear just because I needed the attributes on it. But the leveling was very smooth because the tree is so good that it doesn't really matter. Like this starting area right here with Precise Technique, Point Blank, Leader of the Pack, Burning Brutality, Gladiator's Perseverance, Feline Swiftness, this whole area is insane. Absolutely crazy. Like all those masteries that you get add up to be so much damage. This is 24% damage, this is 100 damage, and this is 60. So you get almost 200% damage, a bunch of attack speed. It's very point efficient, and you get two more multipliers, which is absolutely nuts. Point Blank works a lot better if you have like slower projectiles because they will basically all land on top of the same place. Actually, Molten Strike in general works better when you have slower projectiles. I even had the less projectile speed mastery for a while. I don't really need it, as you can see right now. And I'd need it even less if I had any kind of area scaling. But yeah, that's where I'm at now. So yeah, as far as where the tree currently resides, I went this way so I could get more strength. And also, very importantly, I got Rage on Hit. So that I'm basically using this tincture to generate rage quickly when I need it, when it's down, like during an important fight. It also is giving me attack speed, which is very nice. So it's a nice little damage amp too. But I just got the one rage on melee hit, and if you're zooming around in maps fast enough, it is good enough. But yeah, after that I went up here, got the chance to treat enemy monster elemental resistance values as inverted. If you are not running Warden, which has Scorch, or you don't have like, double curse or anything, then this elemental mastery is basically mandatory. It makes bosses so much easier. It makes any plus elemental resistance actually a downside in a lot of cases, because the more multiplier you're getting is a lot more than if you were just like lowering their resistances by quite a lot. So it's very strong. And yeah, it'll just make all your bossing a lot easier. Then I had to go up and grab Acuity, obviously, because I had Precise Technique. I actually, both for resistances and for Precise Technique, did take Weathered Hunter early on as well, but spec'd out of that as my gearing caught up to that. Then the other very important thing to get early is Multi-Shot, which is basically almost a 25% more damage multiplier, because a huge majority, probably like 85 to 90% of your damage, does come from the projectiles and not from the melee attack. So having an additional projectile going from the initial 4 to 5 is very, very, very strong. So yeah, that is that. The rest of the skill tree, I mean, it's pretty much as I explained, more or less, in the leveling version, as I've talked about previously. I wanted to run 250% auras, so later on I did get Champion of the Cause. I did also have Charisma for a while, but decided to get out of that. I might mess around with respecking the tree a bit, but honestly, at this point, and the other important thing to get is Thrill of Battle, although I think I should have just went and got this early on. So this one's actually closer, and it gives you Mana Leech. So I actually could have, for 2 points, got over here, and a lot earlier got Spirit of War, and also got the Mana Reservation Efficiency, or the Regenerate 5 mana per second, which would have helped a lot with my mana issues, which is the second trouble that I had. I kind of got off track, got a little sidetracked here, but first issue I had was attributes. Second I had was mana cost. I had to spam, mana potion basically nonstop. I did get an enduring for a while, which was very helpful. So that's one of the things I would recommend. The other thing I would recommend is get one of these reduced mana cost nodes, along with possibly, you can either get the reduced reservation and use the extra reservation to run clarity for quite a while, which can be helpful and synergizes with the extra damage from each aura, because it's relatively cheap and you can stop leveling it after a certain point, so it's just 8% additional damage, not too bad. But yeah, that's helpful too. Mana flows early on in combination with that, especially if you do decide to get the regenerate 5 mana per second instead of just running clarity, depending on your socket pressure early on. Very good. Yeah, so that's the important stuff. Block, I have a lot of block. You get a ton of block from here, you get a ton of block from here. I'm nearly block capped. Block and evasion synergize extremely well, so it is nice to have those in combination. I also would like to ideally potentially get Swagger, so that I can get the life and mana on block, and then get some spell block, maybe get the dual wield mastery that changes. I can't take 2 block masteries. I was going to say I could get the plus 1% per 5, but the next closest block mastery is like over here. Yeah. There's not, like, it's a few points out of the way and I'm already kind of short on points. So, and I have frenzy charges to get still, and I have crit to switch over to. Possibly cluster jewel. Definitely got to get my 2-point jewels. This will be a 1-point jewel, so I have 2-point jewel, 2-point jewel, 1-point jewel that I'll have, so 3 jewel slots. I don't think I'll be able to get that, unfortunately. And I don't even know if I'm going to switch over to crit. I might just keep going, because honestly, I still see a lot of potential to scale. I kind of want to see how far I can push the non-crit version, just out of curiosity. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do a quick map. I'll put my void stone in real quick, so that'll pump things up a little bit, and that'll give me, like, maybe I want to favorite Underground Sea and Toxic Sewer, both maps that I enjoy very much. And I will just do Lighthouse, or maybe instead, because I have not a lot of Elks and Orbs of Binding to roll with, so maybe I'll just do a Terrace, tier 15. Reflect Fizz is fine. Can't inflict exposure is fine. I do some physical damage, but my leech, and especially instant leech, should be counteracting that pretty easily. So let's just give a quick mapping demonstration, and then I'm using Soul of the Brine King, which is actually very relevant. I should mention that too. And Soul of Relicash, but I don't need it because I have this, so I should have switched to something else at this point, maybe the poison one, because I have some poison avoid, but I don't have that. But Soul of the Brine King is actually really important because you're probably blocking a lot of stunning hits. because the life is so low, a lot of hits are going to stun, and because we don't have a lot of mitigation. So anyway, yeah, the basic play style is you just jump into the middle of packs and hold the attack button and frost blink around, and you kind of let your balls do the rest. You're launching 9 balls per attack, and you're attacking quite a few times per second, with all of the flasks up and all of the buffs. Oops, you do want to put on. I was missing some frenzies and whatnot. Yeah, you do want to put on Blood Rage as well to get all the extra attack speed and frenzy charge generation. So with that, we have quite a lot. And anytime you're in a ground degen, just get out of there, because ground degens will, lower your leech. You're basically constantly max leeching, as well as basically life gain on hitting. So you're fairly safe. The only thing that really kills you is the stupid tornadoes from the ores. So I usually get those afterwards. But if you have a better body armor than I do, then you're going to be even safer, because having more armor and evasion, you could just go for a pure evasion, but it's hard to color, and also even a small amount of armor is helpful, especially if you have some fizz taken if you were able to properly get that going yet. That kind of thing builds up. When I have situations like this where I want to build my rage up quicker, I press my tincture. That'll give me another more damage multiplier, which is handy. And yeah, you're usually burning through stuff pretty quick. You never want to stand in one place for long, not only because of the ground degens, which can be pretty devastating, but also just because you get more projectiles by using your movement skill. So yeah, standing in place is bad. It is 4 seconds, and if you're not using either Leap Slam or Frost Blink within 4 seconds, then you are most certainly just playing wrong, honestly. That is something you should be doing constantly. You got to get in the habit of blinking behind things with Frost Blink to apply the chill, and also most things simply can't attack things that are behind them. So they're not even going to be able to attack you. You don't even need to worry about your dodge and your block, because literally their attacks won't connect. You're taking randomness out of the equation just by being behind them, which is why Frost Blink is the best defensive skill in the entire game, for sure. At least in my humble opinion. I don't think it's a humble opinion. I think it's reasonably well-founded. I think a lot of people would agree with me who have used it extensively. Like, there are certain bosses that simply can't hit you. Like Azaro, yeah, if you use Frost Blink and get used to just timing his attacks and Frost Blink behind him, he'll never hit you again. Never. You just simply will not be hit by Azaro. I don't think I've been hit by Azaro in many leagues. Maybe. If I kind of, stop paying attention, which happens frequently. My attention span is kind of low. Yeah, if you do ever start taking damage too, just you get used to hitting the steel skin reflexively. I kind of just that's why I have the health bar above my head and everything, which I'm sure most people do that too. Steel skin, Molten shell is, another good one, but we just simply don't stack enough armor to really make it worth it. In terms of bossing, yeah, I want to make sure the tincture is going. And then for this boss, they have those annoying balls that do a ton of damage. You can't let them stack on you. You got to move around a lot. But you also have to go in to clear the stuff. So it's kind of annoying. Oh, I thought I had downed him. I'm used to, killing things fast enough where I can just kind of attack them for a small amount of time and then move. But, oop. I am out of mana, which doesn't happen too often. There you go. Okay. So yeah, that's what mapping looks like. It's, It wasn't a crazy. It was just increase monster speed, reflect, action speed can't be lowered. So it was like, pretty average tier 15 and everything, but it was fine at this early stage. Defenses feel fine. They don't look like they should be good. That's a really good ring for me because I need strength and int still. I actually crafted strength and int on this. This ring's actually quite good and has an open prefix for damage too, which is nice as well. So I'm going to figure out how I can use this ring. Cool. Let's take a look at these as well. And that's that. So I think I've covered everything for the most part. I still have Exarch to do, which I'm going to do. I'm probably even worse at that fight. I'm sure I'll die a bunch in the ball phase, but I'll let you know how that goes in my next update. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming. I hope you're enjoying your League start, and I'll see you next time. Bye.